Hello everyone, and today we are going to discuss Chapter 4, Earthquake Hazards. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Christine Batawan, and I'm the first reporter. One of the most common hazards inflicting tremendous damage to human life and properties is an earthquake. It is a natural phenomenon that poses great danger due to the various hazards it may bring. Though its impending occurrence can be predicted, the magnitude of its impact to a community and its people is unpredictable. What is an earthquake? An earthquake, also known as quake, tremor, or tremblor, is the perceptible shaking of the surface of the earth resulting from the sudden release of energy in the earth's crust that create seismic waves. Potential earthquake hazards. Geologists explain that an earthquake is a type of hazard that depends on the strength of seismic activity. A large earthquake will always be followed by a sequence of aftershocks that normally aggravates its effect on human and material elements like building and infrastructures. The following are different hazards that normally result from the occurrence of an earthquake. First, ground shaking or ground motion. The earth shakes with the passage of earthquake waves which radiate energy that had been stored in the stressed rocks and were released when a fault broke and the rocks slipped to relieve the pent-up stress. If an earthquake generates a large enough shaking intensity, structures like buildings, bridges, and dams can be severely damaged, and cliffs and sloping ground destabilized. Ground shaking will vary over an area due to such factors as topography, bedrock type, and the location and orientation of the fault ruptures. These all affect the way the seismic waves travel through the ground. Ground surface rupture. Surface rupture is an offset of the ground surface when fault rupture extends to the Earth's surface. Any structure built across the fault is at risk of being torn apart as the two sides of the fault slip past each other. Normal and reverse, collectively called deep slip faulting surface ruptures feature vertical offsets, while strike slip faulting produces lateral offsets. Many earthquake surface ruptures are combinations of both. Structures that span a surface fault are likely to suffer great damage surface ruptures.
Good afternoon, class. Our topic for today is all about liquefaction. Liquefaction means a soil liquefaction is a phenomenon in which the strength and stiffness of a soil is reduced by earthquake shaking or other rapid loading. It normally occurs in saturated soil, that is, soil in which the space between individual particles is completely filled with water. So, like for example, magnitude 6.5 or 6.7 something, meron talaga yung mga aftershock. So our next topic is all about earthquake-induced ground subsidence and lateral spreading. So subsidence or lowering of the ground surface often occurs during earthquake. This may be due to downwards vertical displacement. On one side of a fault line and can be sometimes affect a huge area of land. Coastal areas can become permanently flooded as a result. So, dito natin yung makikita yung may mga baha, may mga vertical displacement like yung mga ground natin baba taas. So, that is what we call subsidence or lowering of the ground surface during earthquake. So that would be all.
Everyone, I am Joselme Catayas and I am the next presenter of this reporting, and this is the continuation. Number 5, tsunami. A tsunami is a series of waves in a water body caused by the displacement of a large volume of water, generally in an ocean or a large lake. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and other underwater explosions above or below water all have the potential to generate tsunami. So, nakita naman natin, di ba, mostly sa mga movies kung paano nangyayari yung tsunamis, and alam natin kung gaano kalaki or gaano kalala ang naidudulot nito doon sa mga biktima. So, number 6, earthquake-induced landslides. Earthquake often trigger landslides, causing significant and even catastrophic damage to houses. If your house is in the path of an earthquake-induced landslides, it is a risk for damage from landslides debris as well as sliding downhill itself. My hazards can help you find out if the area where you live or work is prone to earthquake-induced landslides. So, alam natin, di ba, na nagkakaroon ng landslides pag mayroong earthquake or may sobrang lakas na ulan. And usually, yung natatamaan na landslides is yung mga taong nakatira mismo sa matataas na lugar or doon sa medyo bukid na area. So, that is the end of my reporting. And my next classmate will be the next reporter. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Lexa Rocha in Bure, and I will discuss the natural signs of an impending tsunami. So, there are 2 natural signs, which is animal behavior and drawback. So first is ang animal behavior. Animals have much higher sensitivity, and also they may sense unusual vibrations or changes ng air pressure. So for example is ang elephant. Pag may nasense silang kakaiba, they will scream, they will make noise, or they run to the higher place or higher ground. Second is ang dog. Pag hindi sila mapakali or tahol sila ng tahol. And also animals can help us. They will give us signs kung may paparating na earthquake or tsunamis. Second is yung drawback. So drawback can be a warning that tsunami is approaching. And also drawback can exceed 100 meters. So, yun yung pag yung dagat is umaatras at doon na magkakabuo ng big tsunami wave. So if you want to survive, go to the higher place.
Hi, my name is Michelle and my topic is about how drawbacks are formed. All waves have negative and positive peak, that is, ridge and trough. In case of propagating waves like a tsunami, either may be the first to arrive. The first part to arrive at the shore is the ridge. A massive breaking wave or sudden flooding will be the first effect noticed on the land. However, if the first part to arrive is the trough, a drawback will occur as the shoreline recedes dramatically. Drawbacks can exceed hundreds of meters and people unaware of the danger in it. And the danger can occur if the people doesn't have any idea of what is happening. What if nasa beach or kaya may mga taong naglalakad, malapit sa beach, hindi alam kung bakit tumatras yung tubig. Pagkapag-isipan lang, low tide lang. Iba yung low tide. Pag umatas yung tubig and hindi na normal, you better run and save yourself and save the people out there. So people should have any idea of what could be the sign of drawback and tsunamis, so that they can search for shelter, immediate shelter, and find places, high places like buildings or whatever that is mataas, para ma-save nila yung sarili nila at yung mga tao. A typical wave period of tsunami is 12 minutes. So this means that drawback phase is the first part of the wave to arrive. The sea will recede and the sea level will expose after 3 minutes. During the next 6 minutes, the tsunami wave trough builds into a ridge. And during this time, the sea is filled in and destruction occurs on land. And during the next 6 minutes, the tsunami wave changes from ridge to a trough, causing that waters to drain and drawback to occur again. These may sweep victims and debris some distance from land. The process repeats as the next wave arrives.
Good day, everyone. I am Celis. So today, I will present the different earthquake hazard maps designed by OCHA, or Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs for Asia and the Pacific, and PHIVOLCS, or Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. So on the map, the color interprets the region that experience earthquake intensity and tropical storm intensity. The red one conveys the earthquake intensity, and the blue one interprets the tropical storm. Intensity zone indicate where there is a 10% probability of a storm of this intensity striking in the next 10 years. Next, earthquake-induced landslide susceptibility map. As can you see at the map, the color that is a light gray, it shows 100 not susceptible, means they are not affected by the landslide. And the red one shows that they are the most affected and most experienced by the landslide. So the PHIVOLCS and OCHA reminding us, or the people, about the possibility of during and after an earthquake occurred. So as a part of the preparation schemes, PHIVOLCS and OCHA prepared a map. So in that map, or those on that map, shows how susceptible an area in the Philippines are from the landslide, from the tropical storm, from the earthquake. So they make us to be aware and to be prepared. So that's
Hello
all.
everyone, my name is Centino and I will discuss to you the different earthquakes hazard maps. Number 3, seismic hazards and structure in the Philippines. Seismic is some kind of station that they can see the hazards and structure of the Philippines. To know what is the nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran in the Philippines. Example for this is the fault lines and earthquakes, ground shaking, ground rupture, ground failure like lead faction, and landslides, tsunami, and earthquakes. So that is the potential of a seismic hazard. So seismic station. Number 4 is the floods and landslide hazard maps. Flood hazard map is to define those coastal area which are at risk at flooding under the extreme condition. Number 5, ground shaking hazard map. So it shows the distribution of earthquake shaking, levels that have a certain probability of occurring. So ground shaking, it's all about earthquake. So it's a term used to describe the vibration of the ground during an earthquake. So ground shaking is caused by body waves and surface waves. What to do before, during, and after an earthquake. Before an earthquake, engage yourself in training activities to promote safety and disaster preparedness. During an earthquake, stay indoors if you are within a structurally sound building or home. After an earthquake, do not use elevators, enter damaged buildings or telephones. Most of all, do not panic.